welcome back, Zone Squads. Today we're going to talk about multiplying, dividing rational expressions. Rational just means when the variable, the input, is the x is in the denominator. So an example would be y equals 1 over x. Alright, so our goal today is to multiply and divide. So we're going to do two things. Our goal is to factor the numerator, factor the denominator on each part, and then after that we're going to cancel the factors. So we can cancel top and bottom. Alright, so our goal, for example, if we use numbers, if I have 1/2 times 2/3, then we can essentially cancel these guys out and you get 1/3. That is essentially what we're going to do today. So we're going to take a couple examples and we're going to kind of go on from there. So your first example is going to be 3x over 3 divided by 2 over 3x cubed. This is our first example. So what are we going to do? For multiplication and division, we do the same thing. We factor when needed. But for division, we use something called KFC. So KFC. So we're going to keep the numerator, flip the denominator, and the C is going to be changed division to multiplication. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, KFC. So anytime you see division, think of KFC. So right now we're going to do 3x over 3, keep the numerator, flip the denominator, and then instead of division, we're going to put multiplication. Alright, now it becomes a multiplication problem. Now we could just cancel top and bottom. So anything from top and bottom we would cancel. So this x can't cancel that. So this 3 and 3 can cancel out. And that's pretty much it. So if you multiply across, we add the exponents, we have 4, and we have 2. Alright, so that's the first example. So KFC, keep, flip, change. Alright, next example. Let's do a different problem where it involves factoring. We'll do multiplication. Alright, I treat these as 4 different problems. I have to factor this side, this part, and that part. So if they're already factored, you can't go any further, you can't do any more, then we leave it alone. This side, we can't do anything. We know that because it's linear. Here, this top part is quadratic, so we could try to factor it. Here, it's linear, so we leave that alone. So that when we try to factor this, we have x, 9, 5, has to add up to negative 14. So minus, minus. And from here, I have to put parentheses everywhere, so it's all or nothing. A lot of kids try to cancel just the x's, but it has to be the whole factor. It has to be x minus 9. So a lot of kids will have x minus 9, x plus 9. They'll cancel everything out, but you can't because they're 2 different factors. So in this x minus 9, you cancel with that x minus 9, and you can't cancel that. So at the end of the day, you have x minus 5 on top, x plus 4 on the bottom. Because we cancel something out, we have to state that x cannot be 1. Because if you plug it, or 9, if you plug in 9 here, it actually becomes 0, so it's undefined. So we actually have to tell your answer that. Okay, so make sure you guys put that. Anywhere you cancel out. The 4 is fine because it's in the final answer, but the 9, since you canceled out, we have to include it there. All right. Last problem. And we're going to move on. Divided by x squared plus 5x minus 50 all over x plus 10. So once again, 4 parts, factor each one. You have a division, so KFC. So I'm going to keep the top, flip this guy, so x plus 10. And then factor the top down here. So when you factor, here you get x minus 8, x minus 5. 8 and 5 adds up to negative 15. And here you get 10 and 5, plus here, minus there. And I'm going to put parentheses everywhere. Okay, now we cancel out. We could say that x minus 5s cancel out, x plus 10s cancel out. Anywhere top and bottom, we go across as well, diagonally. So what's left over? We have x minus 8 on top, We have 3 on bottom. We can't go any further, so that's our final answer. What happens though? We cancel out these two guys, so we have to state that x cannot be -10, and it also can't be 5. So make sure you guys have those restrictions. All right, that concludes our lesson for multiplying, dividing rational expressions. Let's get ready for our 3 problems, our basic, intermediate, and advanced level. Good job. All right, so we had the lesson. Now let's try your basic, intermediate, advanced level. Your basic, your first one, I want you to simplify or multiply this problem. It's multiplication. All we have to do is multiply top and bottom. Factor if needed. Give you about 30 seconds. Good luck. Try it. Go. All right, welcome back. Canceling top and bottom. Well, I see this 5 and this 10. You can cancel out there. This 2 and this 4 cancel out there. And this x is canceled out. So you're left with what? 2 on top. 2 on the bottom. So actually that cancels out 2. We actually get 1. So my answer at the end of the day just becomes 1. So check your answers. Check where you crossed out. You crossed a lot of things out. And let's move on to intermediate level. All right, intermediate. It's a little bit more challenging. Not that much more. You guys can do it. But make sure you guys try the problem. So we have 10x minus 70 over x minus 7. 1 over x minus 7. Factor this guy. I could factor this guy. It's multiplication, so keep the rest. In about 30 seconds to a minute. Try your best. Go. All right, welcome back. Let's try this. Factor here. So what can I factor out with 10 and 70? What's my GCF? I could take out a 10, so left with x minus 7 there. And everything else kind of stays the same. So I have to put parentheses all here to remind me that's all or nothing. So then everything becomes multiplication once we factor. That's why we do this. X minus 7's cancel out, so you're left with 10 over x minus 7. And that's your final answer. Check your answers once again. We don't have to put x cannot be 7 because we already have it here, so we're kind of good to go there. All right, let's get ready for our advanced level. Good job. All right, our final problem, advanced, to finish this. Let's try this. X squared minus 3x minus 4 all over x plus 9 divided by x plus 1 over x plus 9. I'm going to put parentheses in all these guys. It's multiplication, or it's division, so make it into a multiplication problem. I'm not going to tell you how, but KFC is your hint. Factor each part out. I'm going to give you about a minute for this one. Try your best. That's the only way you're going to learn this, is by doing it, by practicing it, by making mistakes, and then figuring out where your mistakes were, your misconceptions, and then going out from there. So try your best. It'll be about 30 seconds to a minute. Good luck. Go. All right. Let's see what you got. So we're going to factor the top, leave this on the bottom, KFC, multiply, and flip the denominator so you get this guy. Let's factor this. You have x, 4, 1, minus plus, negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. Everything's multiplication now, right? We have multiplication here, there, and there. So everything's multiplied. If there was an addition somewhere in between, then we cannot cancel top and bottom. So that's the beauty of factoring. This is why we factor to cancel. Is because when we factor a trinomial or binomial with addition and subtraction, it actually becomes a multiplication problem. We break it down into different parts, but we multiply them together. So the rule is when you multiply, we can start canceling. So let's work with cancel. X plus 9. Think of it as like a matching game where you find 2 matches and you could cancel them out. And x plus 1 cancels out, so you're left with x minus 4. That's my answer. But where are my restrictions? X cannot be what? Cannot be negative 9. It cannot be negative 1. Negative 9 here makes it 0. Negative 1 makes it 0 there. So that's my answer. Check your answers. Make sure you did KFC. Make sure you factored correctly. Factoring is very important. If you're struggling with factoring, watch my other videos with factoring. I have all of it laid out. But good job, you finished multiplying, dividing rational expressions. It's not easy, but we need to get more practice. So great job. All right, Zone Squads, we made it. Multiplying, dividing rational expressions, not easy. Let's kind of recap. Your goal is to factor first, And then factor everything out, cancel everything out, and then check your restrictions if there are any denominators that you canceled out. And then make sure when you're dividing, use KFC, keep the numerator, flip the denominator, change division to multiplication, and do everything else from there. All right. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, please subscribe to my video, to my channel, turn on your notifications, and then let's get ready for our next video. Great job.